Hi everyone, I'm Christine and welcome back to my sewing room. Thanks again for joining me on another #FridaySews, also done on a Saturday. FridaySews is just a group of sewers who talk about what's happened over their week, what projects they're working on, what projects are coming up, and it's a great group of people, and I really appreciate you joining me today. Hopefully this weekend I will be finishing this. So this is it's a jumper. I would lower my mannequin, but it's actually been acting up lately and I'm lucky that it's just staying here. Anyway, this has been taking a lot longer than I thought it would. I started it last weekend. I've been working on it throughout the week at night, and I've just been screwing up so many different things. Even my husband has told me that he's seen me use the seam ripper more than he has seen me sewing. And that's the truth. I screwed up this band right here, this waistband. I had it where it was straight across like that. And then all of the checks were kind of all wonky and all over the place. So I switched it to at an angle, which I don't know if you can tell, but I had already sewn it and serged it. So I had to take out that full seam. I had to take out a serged seam, which is not fun. I also screwed up the zipper. I had basted it first, and then I realized, before doing the other side, I realized, okay, when I go back over the seam with a regular stitch, you're going to see both stitches. So I sewed it normally so that I could take out the basting stitch. As I was sewing it normally, I caught the other side of the zipper in there, so I had to take that out. I also screwed up the straps. I put them too close to the edge, so I had to redo those. Thankfully, those were just basted on. And then this back, you can't see it because it's inside. There's a back panel facing. There's a back facing here. I screwed that up. I stitched it on the wrong side of the bib. I think that's all. And then what took so long were these straps. These are long straps where you sew them inside out and then you turn them right side out. And they are very, very thin. Let's see if you see how thin these are, which makes it very, very difficult. Even some of the fabric, I don't know if you could see that. I was using tweezers. I used a chopstick and tweezers to get this fabric through. So if anybody has a suggestion of what I could buy to do straps easier, to pull fabric through easier, I would love to hear it. I looked on Amazon while I was doing this. There's a ton of different options. So I figured I'd see if anybody has any suggestions that they've used that they prefer to use on this. But some of the areas where I've even pulled the fabric through with my tweezers, it's all discolored and I don't care. One strap took me 3 hours to do. But other than all of that, it's been a joy making this dress. I really do like it. It's really cute. However, when I finish it today, I'm not going to be able to wear it for a little bit because it's still like 80 degrees out. And this is a solid flannel dress. Another quick video I am thinking of doing this weekend is just some tips on what happens when your sewing machine beeps at you. That's another thing with this dress. Some of the craziest, my sewing machine usually runs pretty well, but with this dress, it was almost like it was jinxed. All these random things kept happening that normally don't happen. And through trial and error, I have figured out ways to get your machine working again without throwing it out the window. And everybody says, oh, sewing is so much fun, it's so relaxing. Well, when your stupid machine keeps beeping at you every couple stitches, you want to throw it out the window, especially when there's a window right next to you. So I have finally, throughout the years, I have figured out ways of fixing it that you don't really, I don't know. I mean, it was through trial and error. Again, I don't recall reading it in my sewing manual, because believe me, I have looked that thing over and over again. So this video, if you've been sewing for a long time, you don't need to watch it, because I'm sure you figured it all out yourself as well. But if you're one of the new people, new to sewing, hopefully this video will help. It should be pretty quick. There's just a couple things that I've figured out that will help you when that machine beeps at you, which is like one of the worst sounds, I swear. So it's funny, because this week's Friday Sews topic is about how much of a perfectionist are you when you're making clothes or making something. For me, it just depends. If I am sewing something from my Etsy store, like one of my ponchos that you can buy on my Etsy store, that's a shameless plug. But when I'm doing that, I want them to be perfect. But when I'm making something like this, when I get down to the end there, I said screw it. For an example, my zipper here, the top, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, you can't see it. But the top, gets turned inside out, and the top corners here aren't square. They're both at an angle. I mean, they look symmetrical, but they're not square. And I figured, you know what? Nobody's going to be looking at this. Nobody's going to be close enough to look at this. Also, like I said before, with the straps where some of the black has been faded or torn up, I don't care. There is no way I'm making these straps again. There's a couple areas where my where my chopstick poked through it when I was trying to turn it right side out. So there are a couple holes, but I mean, I haven't been able to find them. And even if I did, there's no way. I am not doing that again. So it just kind of depends. When I start out on something, when I'm, the first steps, the first maybe 15 steps, I'm very careful, very detailed. And then once you start going longer and longer, I just don't care. I get to the point where, if people can't actually see it, then that's fine. So that's kind of my level of perfectionism, if that's a word. So that's basically it for today. My Friday sews are definitely short and sweet, and or hopefully they're sweet. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. And again, leave any comments you'd like, but I would absolutely love to hear what you like to use to switch over straps, to pull those straps right side out, because I love straps. There was a guy on Project Runway who used straps on everything, and they only have a day to sew these things, to design and sew these things. So he's making these huge straps, and how was he able to do that so quickly? So, I would really love to hear whatever suggestions you guys have. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon.